Hi guys, it's Tuesday and Liz is here. We're gonna talk about cosplay today because cosplay is actually a really big part of my life and it is something I'm very passionate about, and I want to take this opportunity to kind of talk to you guys about certain things that have come up with me and my friends in the cosplay community. Everything is strictly what I've noticed personally, how I felt personally, and stuff like that. So this isn't directed towards anyone, anything, or any of that stuff. First, the other day, actually about this point, last week, I got contacts from Honeycolor. I've got my Honica contacts, and I got my Rin contacts from Uniglow. Unisglow. I think it's Uniglow. They're not bad. It took some getting used to for both of them. The Rin contacts are actually, I think, more comfortable than my Honica contacts, but they're the same company that makes them. They're just two different colors. But a friend of mine uses Honeycolor for a lot of their contacts, and I noticed that in their pictures the colors are much more vibrant, and I just wanted to see if there'd be a difference in not so much the supplier, because it doesn't matter if it's Uniglow or Honeycolor. When you get a contact, it depends on the company that makes them. So I wanted to see, so I got, in one of these boxes is green and in one of them is blue. One is a new pair for Honica. I wanted to see if I could get a deeper blue because you can't see her contacts through my eyes or on my eyes that much. So I wanted to see if a different company would change that. And then one of them is green, not prescription. They're actually for a cosplay. I got them for a different reason, but they work for a cosplay that I'm doing next month. So, and they work with my glasses, so I'm gonna have green eyes with my glasses for a cosplay next month, which is awesome. So anyway, but because I am a new user to Honeycolor, I got two free pair of contacts. One is hazel color and one is lavender. Again, I don't know which box is which, but I'm really excited because that's awesome. I'm gonna have violet eyes, hopefully. So yay, and they were free gifts. So I think that's part of the reason why I actually got two pairs of contacts, so I could get two free gifts. Because the colors, I couldn't decide between two of them, and I was like, well, I could get new Honica contacts. But anyway, that's a different video altogether about contact wear. Actually, I want to talk to you guys about that in a different video because I've noticed a lot of people do bad things with their contacts, but that's not what this video is about. With that aside, I've noticed, even personally speaking, cosplay attitudes are changing. And I don't even mean, you know, when people cosplay and the rules of cosplay and, you know, professional cosplays bashing novices and, you know, if you buy it. That's all aside. That's completely off the topic that I want to talk about. My big thing is personal feelings towards cosplay. I've been cosplaying since 2007. I started at the New York Anime Festival when it first started, and my first cosplay was Light Yagami from Death Note because it was my first ever convention and I wanted to cosplay for it, and I wanted a very simple cosplay, and it was, you know, a pair of khakis, pair of a white shirt, and a wig, and I was done. And I've obviously come a long way since then, doing more complicated cosplays like Yuna and Elizabeth and things that require more work and effort on my part, but, you know, back then it was a nice place to start. And I fell in love with cosplay right off the bat. Before I even did it, I loved it. I thought the people that did it were gorgeous and all this fun stuff, and that actually hasn't changed. But I've noticed with myself and a few of my friends, the desire and want to cosplay is fading. And I kind of want to go into, I think, more of a reason why. For me personally, it came down to when, as I started getting more involved in cosplay in the community and more involved in the convention life, I was traveling more. So I used to go to, a convention in New York. I used to go to the anime festival. I used to go to Comic-Con, and then I used to go to Anime Next in Jersey. And slowly I started to expand that. I got this idea to do a video, and that sent me to Otakon, because I wanted to go to Otakon anyway. Otakon was a dream con, and there I met, different people, different friends, and they got me going to KatsuCon, and they got me going to KinetiCon. So, it sort of evolved in how I've met people in the conventions that I go to throughout the years. And that, again, that really hasn't changed for me. I still want to travel. I still want to see all these conventions. But while I was traveling, I would come home and my mother would sit me down and be like, I really think you should stop. You shouldn't go to these conventions. And it wasn't because I was getting older. It wasn't for any other reason than I, at that point, had gotten out of school in New York, and I was in really bad debt. And I'm still in really bad debt, but I was not having trouble affording it, but I could have spent the money on other things. And while she was right, I had to keep going because it was the only time I actually got to hang out with friends. In Jersey, I don't hang out with a lot of people. I don't really have people that I connect with here as much as I used to anymore, if at all. So it became something, I would look forward to every year, every month, whatever. I know every summer I'd go and hang out with my friends at Otakon, or I'd go in February, I'd go to DC, or, whatever, and I would go to KatsuCon. So those were things I looked forward to. It was the once or twice a year I got to actually hang out with friends and feel like I wasn't alone, which was huge for me. Because, it didn't matter that I was a little bit older. It didn't matter about anything. I got to hang out with friends. I got to feel like I was part of something, which was a really big deal. And I got into so many fights with my family over the fact that I had to keep doing this, and I would save, all my money, and I would do whatever it took to get to these conventions because it really meant that much to me. And, my family doesn't understand the fact about spending the money for the cosplay, but at that point it was because I had this deep hatred for who I was as a person that I got to experience, and plus the life that I was living myself. I was working at this dead-end job that I hated. I dropped out of school because I couldn't afford it before I even started. Like, it was all this stuff that was going on in my life at that point. And cosplay and conventions were the one thing that got me away from all of that. For, just a few short days, I got to be someone else. I got to be happy and live like a different life, for lack of a better word. And that was something that couldn't be explained to anyone unless you were doing it personally. But, I got into so many fights back then, and now looking at, I don't get in fights with them as often because it's not something that's talked about, because they know that I have my points of view and they have their points of view, and we've just come to a mutual agreement that we're not going to talk about it. But cosplay is still something that comes up every now and then, and why I cosplay and stuff, and that's kind of what I'm noticing a lot of my friends are hesitant to continue cosplaying. Now, I went through the same thing, and I go through it in spurts basically every year. I decide, if I've done cosplaying, do I want to continue it? And then something happens and I want to start it up, and it's a mixed emotions back and forth. And I speak for no one else but myself when I say it's rough. My own struggles with it were for different reasons. I don't want to say that my reasons were their reasons and so forth. But I've noticed that this trend is continuing with a lot of my friends, and, they have to question themselves as to why they cosplay and why they want to continue, or maybe they should stop and whatnot. For me personally, I wanted to stop a few times. My big thing is a lot of the cosplays that I do, I've done alone. And when I started out, it wasn't that big of a deal. I, didn't care if I cosplayed by myself. I didn't care if I was the only one that did it. It didn't matter. It was fun. And that's still kind of how it is for me. But it it's really rough when you meet all these convention friends and you see all the groups that they're in and they're like, I'm doing a this group or I'm doing a that group. Like, for example, I'm big into Love Live right now, and seeing all the people that do the Love Live groups is like kind of painful for me because I'm doing it by myself. Like, I'm the only one of my friends that will cosplay Love Live, and it's like great. So I get to watch all these people do these groups, you know, the Snow Halation group or the whatever group, and it's like I want to be a part of that because that just seems like so much fun, and I don't have the people that can do it because my friends aren't interested in what I'm interested in, or they don't go to the same conventions that I go to, or whatever, or they might not just want to even cosplay it, which is fine. And you know, I don't say any, like, I will never force my friends to cosplay something they don't want to cosplay, and they don't do the same, they don't do that with me. But at the same time, it's rough because you want to do, you know, these group cosplays, or you want to do this idea, and when you have no one to do it with, it's very painful. And that's a few times why I've stopped, because I got tired of doing group cosplays solo. You know, I would do Kagome, but I really wanted Inuyasha, but I couldn't find Inuyasha because no one would cosplay it, whatever. And I would get tired of doing everything by myself. I did Elizabeth from BioShock, and I did that with my brother, and it got to the point where he didn't even want me cosplaying with him because he didn't want me hanging out with his friends after, even though I wasn't. I didn't want to and stuff, but it got to the point where he wanted me to do the outfit. I got it commissioned, and they turned around, I was like, I don't want you to do it. And I was like, and that was hurtful for two reasons. One, at that time I didn't have the money really, and it was costing me a lot of money to get it made that I didn't really have. And then, you know, I finally got to do a cosplay with someone and they didn't want me to do it. So, that was also a low blow and another reason why I wanted to stop. But the main reason was I just got tired of doing everything by myself. Like, you know, I want to do all these cosplays, but a lot of them I want to do with someone. For example, I want to do Rin, but I really only want to do Rin if I have a Hanayo. But I don't know anyone that cosplays her, or wants to cosplay her, or wants to do her with me. So, you know, like, it's rough because certain people I feel like just click with a group. And, you know, Honoka is one thing. I would love to have an Umi and a Kotari with me, but the chances of that happening are really rare. But I have fun as Honoka by myself because I don't need her with it. But for example, if I do Black Butler, there are certain characters that I really want to do with someone that for me, the joy of cosplaying that character only is there because they have, you know, a partner with them, and that makes the character. So, you know, for example, I did Grell and my mom did Sebastian the one year, and that was fun for me because I had this partner, I had someone to cosplay with, and for me that's more fun than just doing it by myself. Because yeah, I can do it by myself, and I've done it for myself for years, but it gets to the point where you don't want to anymore. You really want to be part of something. At least I do. And you know, I've wanted to stop a few times because I got so fed up with doing everything by myself. And you know, I'd mentioned to somebody about wanting to do a group cosplay, and they just wouldn't show interest. And you're like, well, I'm not gonna force them to do it. I'm not gonna fight with them to do it. That's stupid because they're not gonna have fun doing it, and it's making it miserable for everybody. But you know, it's rough because you really want to do these things and you have no one to do them with. So it's still an ongoing battle with me. This July I'm actually spending the weekend doing cosplays with my friends, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Actually in the worst way, because this has been planned for over a year. This whole convention, we're going to Connecticut, and it's going to be really fun because I'm driving up to Connecticut and my friend's flying out from Texas to come visit me, and then we're gonna go to Connecticut and I'm gonna meet friends up there, and the whole weekend is group cosplays. Me and him are cosplaying Black Butler one day, and then I'm doing Homestuck with him another day, and then we're doing a group cosplay for Oron. So like, we're incorporating everybody into all of our stuff, except, you know, my other friends are doing their own thing, and, you know, like, it's fine. And the fact that we're even doing, you know, one cosplay together is just huge for me. I'm so happy that we're doing at least one, and the fact that I get to do 3 the entire weekend is great. Like, that's really big. That's a huge thing for me because I finally get to do, you know, I get to do my dream cosplay with someone. and I get to cosplay with I get to cosplay with my best friend for the most of the weekend, and it's just overall it's exciting for me because that's what I wanted to do for so long. And it's really hard to explain to someone, you know, why you want to be a part of something. Like another friend of mine was trying to get me into a group, and I had no problem doing the group, but you know, when they ask me to change a cosplay because they want me to be part of their ship, and it's like, but I don't ship them. And at that point, I don't have the money to buy a new outfit just to do your ship for an hour, or you know, whatever. Or yeah, I'm bringing this character with me, but if I am in physical pain with the character, I don't want to be in them all weekend. And you know, it's this constant struggle because if there's no give and take, then it's just not a fun convention, and it's not a fun cosplay experience. And I know for me personally, if I'm doing something with someone, I want the entire experience to be fun. Will that happen? No, because life happens, stuff happens, and you know, shit changes. But I try to plan it so everyone gets to have the best time that is possible. So that's my big thing. I know this is it's a lot of my videos lately have been a lot of rambling and jumbled thoughts, but that's my main thing for this week is cosplay in general. And you know, I'm noticing that trend a lot with wanting to cosplay. Now again, you know, my friends' reasons for not wanting to cosplay might be completely different. I don't really know. It's not something we truly talk about, but it's come up in conversation a few times with me, and I know me personally speaking, that's why I kind of want to stop. Plus there was the whole age thing. I'm in that weird age range where, you know, unless like I'm too young to cosplay someone that's in their 40s, but I'm older that it's weird cosplaying someone that's, you know, a high schooler. But it's nice knowing that the people that I admire are still cosplaying these characters, because again, it comes down to the emotional connection. So I think that's a huge thing. But yeah. What are your thoughts? Have you ever thought about stopping to cosplay, and why did you want to stop? Was it because of an experience, a person, just not having people to cosplay with? You know, you don't have, obviously I'm not going to get personal with anyone. I don't want anyone to be embarrassed to say anything, but have you guys ever thought about stopping cosplaying because, or even going to convention because maybe you had no one to go with, or, you know, you didn't feel included into something, and is this something that is happening a lot, or is it just something that I just feel like I'm noticing because it's happening to me personally in the last year or so? But yeah, so that's it. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, I'm going to get a lot of sleep, and then I'm going to try my contacts. Yay! So I will see you guys next week. Have a good day. Have a good week. Till later. Liz out.